that.
Hello, how are you?
No.
No, come and have a talk with me. How are you getting on?
They said he wanted to meet more ordinary voters. After all, what on earth could possibly go wrong?
It's a nice area though, isn't it? It's a nice area, isn't it?
My family
Yeah.
have voted Labour all their life.
Yes, yes.
My father, even when he was in his teens, went to Free Trade Hall to sing the red flag.
Yes.
It started well enough when Mrs. Gillian Duffy, a widow from Rochdale, was introduced to Gordon Brown by her local Labour candidate.
Why are you going to get us out of all this debt,
Because
Gordon?
we've got a deficit reduction plan, cut the debt by half over the next 4 years. We've got the plans, they've been set out to do it.
He seemed happy to talk, so she moved on to the subject which voters worry about and their leaders tread nervously around: immigration.
6 months.
You
6
can't
months.
say anything about the immigrants because you're saying that but all these Eastern Europeans what are coming in, where are they flocking from?
A million people come from Europe, but a million people, British people, have gone into Europe. You do know there's a lot of British people staying in Europe as well, and you're wearing the right colour today.
The two parted on apparently good terms. The Prime Minister warm, attentive and concerned on camera. But now listen to what he really thought when he was in private, but still wearing his TV microphone.
It's a disaster. Well, just... Okay. Should never have put me with that woman. Whose idea was that?
I don't know, I didn't see her.
It's Sue, I think. They're just ridiculous.
I'm not sure if they'll go with that one.
They will go with it.
What did she say?
Oh, everything. She's just a sort of bigoted woman.
Unaware that she'd just been called a bigoted woman, Mrs. Duffy was telling reporters how much she'd enjoyed their conversation.
Has Mr. Brown got your vote after your talk with him?
Yes.
But watch now as the news of what he really thought was relayed to her.
You're joking.
Because, I mean, how do you feel about that?
Where was I a bigot? I can't believe this, that he's said that. All my life I've been damn well Labour.
Soon, that obvious hurt turned to anger.
Why has he come out with words like that? He's going to lead this country and he's calling an ordinary woman who's just come up and asked him questions what most people had asked him.
As Mrs. Duffy wondered what on earth she'd done wrong, Gordon Brown was hearing precisely what he'd done wrong on a visit to the studios of Radio 2.
I do apologise if I've said anything that has been hurtful, and I will apologise to her personally.
Someone has just handed me the tape. Let's play it and see if we can hear it.
Should never have put me with that woman. Whose idea was that?
I don't know, I didn't see her.
It's Sue, I think. They're just ridiculous.
By now, at Mrs. Duffy's home, she was discovering what it's like to be at the centre of a media storm and taking a phone call from the leader of the country, who just insulted her. He knew there was only one thing to do: to head to her house, to face the cameras and, yes, the microphones too, to apologise in person. For 40 long minutes, Mrs. Duffy's door stayed closed, the curtains shut, those outside only able to guess what was happening inside, until a relieved-looking Gordon Brown emerged, having begged for forgiveness.
I've just been talking to Gillian. I'm mortified by what's happened. I've given her my sincere apologies. I misunderstood what she said, and she has accepted that there was a misunderstanding, and she's accepted my apology.
What a furore, what a fuss. What, to use Gordon Brown's own words, a disaster. If only he must have thought Sarah had been here.
And this is Sarah. How are you? Good to see you.
Hours later, in Manchester, she was. The Browns determined to demonstrate that he's not scared of meeting voters after a meeting that went so badly wrong. All because the lady in this house said what she thought to the Prime Minister, and because he was caught saying what he thought about her. Tonight she has yet to say whether his apology has been accepted. Nick Robinson, BBC News.